It was the 32nd President of the United States, Franklin D. Roosevelt, who once quipped that in politics, nothing happens by accident. If it happens, you can bet it was planned that way. After months of speculation over decision on zoning of the 2023 presidency, Nigeria's main opposition party, the People's Democratic Party, PDP, has decided to throw open its presidential tickets to all comers. In a communique at the end of its National Executive Council meeting in Abuja, the PDP also planned to work towards a consensus candidate where possible and appointed former President of the Senate, that's David Mark, as the chairman of the National Convention Committee. Today we saw this coming, and we don't expect anything less from the People's Democratic Party. It's barely 2 weeks to their presidential primaries, and we knew it was enshrined in their constitution. But this time around, because of the exigency, what they call the exigency of time, they had to just jettison the zoning thing, and it's now like an all-comers affairs. It is an all-comers affairs for their presidential tickets, up for grab.
Yes,
everybody.
It's the same pattern that we are seeing with the APC. The APC and the PDP have been copying one another for some time. Remember when the PDP decided that North and South should swap positions in their National Executive Council? They also, APC did the same thing. And that was why people were speculating that the APC had decided to zone the presidency to the South. We had to come on this program to debunk that, that claim. And as we have seen now, the APC doesn't appear to have any plan to zone the presidency to the South. This is the same thing that has happened in the PDP. What they are saying now is, look, this agitation didn't come early enough, that people had bought forms, people had been making consultations, screening had been done. We can't be talking about zoning at this time. But it all seems like just cheap excuses, in my view, that they are given, because you can't say, oh, people had been screened. When did you even screen people? You screen people just recently. The agitation for zoning had been there for so long.
And they would have taken a position.
If you wanted to take a position, you would have taken a position. But you left it too late. Now, when the 37-member committee submitted this report,
led by
you then said, oh, this thing is too late. At this time, for the presidency, we can't be talking about zoning. Zoning still remains an integral
part of their constitution
in the APC, in the PDP. In Akwa Ibom, for example, they've adopted zoning for various positions within the party in Akwa Ibom the state, that's PDP. But what they are saying now is that at the national level, this presidency, they cannot be talking about zoning at this time because it's too late in the day, and they let everyone just go and test its popularity, and where feasible, they can try the consensus option. Mark you, that is what looks like is going to happen even in the APC. You have allowed people to take forms here and there. If you suddenly decide, okay, you are going for zoning, whom are you going to appeal to step down when you allow them to buy forms and then you screen them? No one does that. So from the beginning, I think they were not ready to go for this zoning. The two parties are monitoring one another. Neither of the parties wants to take a step that the other one will now exploit. For example, everyone knows that in terms of population, the North is ahead. But the North itself cannot win an election without substantial votes also. Northern candidate can win an election without substantial votes coming from the South. Shagari became president with a lot of votes coming from the South-South. It was not known then as South-South geopolitical zone, but Cross River, all those areas. Shagari got tremendous votes from those areas You know, so no candidate, whether you are from the north or the south, you need that spread. But what they are looking at is, oh, the north has greater population than the south. If we by mistake or by design choose a candidate from the south and the other people choose a candidate from the north, it could favor the party that has chosen. So they are monitoring one another. Remember even in 2018 how they were postponing each other's primaries just to be able to see what the opponent is about to do before taking their own decision. That's basically what we are saying. We are going to see that at the end of the day, it is what the PDP has done that the APC will eventually do by throwing it open to everyone.
Been about the APC, the PDP governors from the South, they've kicked against this severally, and they've always said power should come to the South. How do you think this will pan out in PDP?
Obviously, they're not going to be very happy about it. But, you know, the problem here is that, just like Babajide said, it's like PDP is checking out what APC is doing, the same thing. APC is doing the same thing too. So at the end of the day, it's like the way they are going about it is like they don't have a particular plan. Whatever it is they had has been discarded. So what they are doing now is whatever tactics PDP is bringing on board, they want to overthrow it. So whatever APC is doing, PDP wants to do same. So it's all about winning this election. At the end of the day, you see that it's not like they really bother about who bought form or who didn't buy form or zoning.
How about the regions involved? The southeast, south, and southwest people that are involved.
It's unfortunate, but I mean, politics is a game of numbers. So, like Obajide rightly analyzed, if you look at those who really come out to vote, take into cognizance the statistics, we know where the highest votes usually come from. So what are we doing? Down south, a lot of people are not patient enough to even try to get their PVC, let alone voting. So if you, the parties have become like enterprise. So I want to make profit. So I'm not going to say because I'm supposed to zone it down south, knowing fully well that down south might not give me the necessary votes I need to excel. So wisdom told them that they should leave it open. So, go show your worth. Like I watched a previous journalist hangout where Ex-Governor Rochas was talking about the three categories of candidates, aspirants. One of the categories will be hoping that Mr. President would support them. The other will believe that they have the money to play the game, and then the third set of people would believe that they have the crowd. So indirectly, the two parties are playing the same game. They are playing the same game. So it's unfortunate that it is playing out like this, but I don't think they should be surprised.
Quickly, Babajide, before we leave this topic, a lot of people, I've been going through online polls, I've been going through, nothing happens online that affects what is on ground. I know because most of these people online, they don't even come out to vote. But when you look at their online polls, the exit polls, they will tell you that a lot of people will say somebody like former Governor Peter Obi, the People's Democratic Party, is like their favorite.
Very strong.
He has program, he has everything, and he has been able to prove himself over time and everything. But it cannot, when you talk in terms of, the spread of delegates and they should converse, I don't see Peter will be marching up to Atiku Abubakar.
Well, let's be fair to him so that they don't accuse us of dismissing his chances. But we know that the audience online is different. You are not going to win an election online. You are not going to win an election on social media. You have to engage the delegates. And in this case, you know that is the person with the deepest pockets that is likely to win. That is, if we go down memory lane, even when Obasanjo was president, they shared dollars to people before a winner eventually emerged. So, and Peter Obi doesn't look like the kind of person ready to spend that kind of money. He's a rich man, but he's extremely frugal. And in our kind of politics, you are not going to do well if they can see that you are not prepared to spend money on them. You have to match what the enemy is spending, or I said enemy, what the opponent is spending. Peter Obi is not that kind of person. He may be honest. I like him as a person. And I think he did well as governor of that state, no doubt about it. But is he ready to play the game? The article, for example, is already very adept at playing that game. That's why
you understand?
Even today, at his age, you still can't dismiss his chances of winning. So is he prepared to play the game the way an article will play it? If you ask me, my answer will be no. So I think that basically, Nigerians, the way our politics is, people will not vote for you simply because they think you are honest or that you will not steal their money. They will not. They won't vote for you based on that.